Hey everyone, welcome to our postseason wrap-up of the Celebration Bowl and the 2017 college football season. It's come to a close. Tolly, Carr, along with Stephen J. Gaither and Wali, Pitt. This coverage is brought to you by Subject to Change. We had a change in the winner of the Celebration Bowl. Grambling did not pull it off for 2 years in a row. A&T gets the win. They have the unbeaten season at 12-0. They won the game 21-14. Stephen, A&T just had more weapons offensively than Grambling did.
Yeah, they had their weapons and they used them. Lamar Renard came out and, he played a solid game. He was able to get the ball down to his running back, Markel Cartwright, who hadn't caught a lot of passes all year, but he turned into Roger Craig at the right time and, really was able, I know, right? 49ers. And then you've also got Elijah Bell, who's a big physical receiver. It's tough to bring down, and he can catch just about anything. He made an incredible catch down there to set up one of those scores, I think. But, A&T's just had the weapons all year. They've known when to use them. Grambling cocked and loaded the gun for him a couple times, and they were able to come through for him. But, 12-0 for North Carolina A&T, outstanding accomplishment, the first MEAC team ever to complete the season perfect, 12-0. And so, a really great season for them, and one that they're going to remember for a long time.
Wally, you were on the field. You were shooting the game. Grambling did have some turnovers that put them back a little bit, but they were able to stay in it because of the magic of Devontae Kincaid. He had the A&T defense off balance. He'd run for 25 yards, and then he'd find the receiver open, but he needed even a little more help than he had today.
This game is one of those classic, was it good defense or bad offense? A lot of fumbles, a lot of interceptions, but man, I just wish Kincaid had one more weapon, because if he did, if Martez Carter wasn't his only weapon, he might have changed the outcome of this one. But, Elijah Bell, Markel Cartwright really kind of put the team on his back.
He had 2 touchdowns. He is the Celebration Bowl MVP, and that's something that adding the receiving part of his game, like you said earlier, was really the big difference. All right, so we talked about the game. Stephen, let's talk about the fans and the role that they played. 25,000 people showed up. That's about 5,000 to 10,000 less than what we've seen in previous years. But hey, it's a brand new building, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is right over my head there. You should see that. A lot of great amenities here, but that ticket price is going to cost you a little more. What's your takeaway on the attendance for this year's game?
Yeah, well, I think obviously the new stadium played a role in that. You look at the tickets last year, the most expensive tickets were comparable to the cheapest tickets that you were going to get out here. So, I mean, again, have you ever been into a Benz that wasn't expensive? You know what I mean? So, it's a great building, but it's tough to, in these economic times, it's tough for a lot of people to spend $60, $75, $100 on a game right before Christmas when you can see it on national television. So I think that's one of the hurdles for them to overcome. But it's a great facility, great atmosphere. The fans that did show up, A&T showed up very well. Grambling, the fans that were there were very loud. And so, you can only imagine how good it would have been if there had been, maybe 40,000. And so, the game's still a pretty new bowl game. It's 3 years. They're going to have to figure out a way to, I don't know if that's, getting, what their solution is to getting more seats there. But, it's a TV game. It's put on by a TV network. So at the end of the day, the TV numbers are what's going to matter. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get good ratings out of this game. So,
and the other thing that you have to consider is, so you have 25,000 people as opposed to 30 or 35. But those people paid the ceiling, at the very least, of what was last year's ceiling was this year's floor. So, money-wise, who's to say that, it's not comparable or maybe even a little better, but then you have to look at what it cost to put a game on here. So we don't know exactly how the final financials work out, but we do know that it was a great game. And Wally, an unbeaten season for A&T, that's great on the recruiting trail.
Oh, it's got to be. And, haters will say it's a weak schedule. I don't agree. I think what A&T did was very, very special. They played a lot of tough games and really, grinded out a lot of these wins. It wasn't just like A&T came out and just stomped over everybody. They had a great season. They got a lot of great talent. Their defense, I think, before this game, a lot of us included, we talked a lot about, their star power, a lot of the offensive weapons, but these two defenses came out and were sharp, almost sharper than the offenses. So hats off to A&T. I can't wait to see what happens with them next year.
Well, you can argue about schedules, I mean, but at the end of the day, you can't argue with 12-0. You can't argue with what we saw today. The best team won. I seem to remember a certain guy said maybe in week 3 that maybe we could go 12. We could see a 12-0
I think you said it in
season.
week 2.
And yeah. So I mean, so maybe we would see an unbeaten season for A&T, and we saw that. I mean, it's a tough thing to do, whatever level you're at. So hats off to the Aggies. They're the HBCU national champs, and they're the best in HBCU football.
Wow. Where does this put Coach Broadway? He's now won 3 HBCU national championships at 3 different schools. He's won at North Carolina Central. He's won at Grambling State. He just won one at North Carolina A&T. He didn't want any part of the Mount Rushmore talk during the post-game press conference. But, you know, we all have that mythical Mount Rushmore in every sport. Maybe not historically because that runs so deep, but modern-day HBCU history. Where would you put a Coach Broadway?
I mean, you know, you got to look at, you know, in his own conference, you've got Willie Jeffries at South Carolina State, who coached for so long and got to the FBS level. You got Coach Joe Taylor, what he did over there at Hampton for all those years. You had Billy Joe, what he was able to do at Central State, and then FAMU as well. And so those are some of the coaches that you're going to look at, as well as Pete Richardson from Winston-Salem State and Southern, and also Eddie Robinson, of course, who, you know, just finished up 20 years ago. So
you wanted to take it historical anyway. I tried to get you off the
But I mean,
let's go back.
So he's got 4 national championships, 2 at A&T, 2 in the last 3 years, and the other year they didn't go. They went to the FCS playoffs. So Coach Broadway has, you know, become a staple in HBCU football. I asked him if this was it for him, like a lot of people are speculating. He didn't quite give me an exact answer.
He did say, you asked him,
was he going to ride off into the sunset?
And he said, what sunset?
so yeah, we just had a sunset on us, but we don't know what the future holds for North Carolina A&T, but we do know Lamar Raynard is going to be back. You know, Elijah Bell is going to be back. So a loaded team for North Carolina A&T next year, and, you know, another chance for the MEAC and the SWAC to lock up, as well as the CIAA and the SIAC.
All right, so the sun has set on this college football season. Wali, Pitt, it seems like yesterday that you and I were rolling down the FAMU in 100-degree weather, and then now it's not too bad out here, but it's
cold.
Days,
Don't listen to him. It's cold.
10 days away from Christmas, and we're getting ready for some hoops, but this was a great way to end the college football season.
Great game.
So for Wali, Pitt, Stephen J. Gaither, I'm Tolly Carr. Thank you very much to Subject to Change for sponsoring the post-game analysis of the Celebration Bowl. We'll be talking hoops with you very soon. We'll be at the CIAA tournament before you know it, man. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.